Hi, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Danny, otherwise known as the Glittered Rose, here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. I thought today I would do something a little different. I've been making so many Lavinia tags, I thought, why don't I jump in and make a card? So that's what I've done, and I thought I'd like to share it with you because I think it turned out really nicely. So for this card, I wanted to try ink blending on Lavinia's Multifarious card. And I think it worked really nicely. I'm really happy with the results. I've done some ink blending and some stamping and some water splashing. I had lots of fun with it. So if this is of any interest, please stick around, hit the like button, let me know down below what you think, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, let's get into the card. I have cut out this card A7 size, so it's 5 by 7 inches. And I've grabbed out one of Lavinia Stamps hill masks or hill stencils. And this one's just got like a real sort of slight curve. It's not a really big mountain or hill one. So I'm starting off with that. And I thought I'd do this first, just lay the basis of my card, then I know where to put my main images. I've just used Elements Olive. It's a nice color. So now for the main image, and I'm using Magnus. It's a gorgeous stag, and I just like to position him just sort of on that line. I think that will work well. And just popping on some even pressure. Just making sure everything gets transferred over. Oh, he's missed a little bit of his nose. Doesn't matter, I'll colour that in with a black pen, but he looks pretty good. When I'm doing stamping like this, I have a tendency to place where I think the image should go. That way, when I'm going to put it down and stamp it down onto my work, I know what way my hand it's it works. It sounds crazy, but it works. I know what way my hand should go, and it makes the process easier. That way, I'm not stumbling of where I need to place the stamp when it comes time to actually placing the inked stamp on the image or card panel. Um, I'm just inking this tree now in a dark brown VersaFine Clair and just tapping that on so it's nice and inky. And placing the stamp down and hoping for the best. I always get nervous that I'm going to drop it or it's not going to stamp properly. But I do find using blocks rather than a MISTI, um, it just feels a lot more natural when you're building a scene. Perfect. Worked well. All right. Okay, so time for the background, and I'm going to go in with a blue and just ink blend the background. I don't want it too perfect because I will be um, covering a lot up, but I'm also going to be splashing some water on it. So having some darker and lighter areas is sort of what I'm after. Plus, you need to remember by the time all that ink soaks into the cardstock, it's going to look a lot smoother than it does now. I'm really loving this Multifarious cardstock. I think it's lovely to ink blend on. I really do recommend it. I want to pop a moon behind him, so I'm just shading around a circle mask, and that will darken up around the outside of the moon and lighten up the middle. It's really clever how it works. So I'm just going around that mask now. Just filling that in. Next, I'll pop some purple in. Just need something else. I think this card is going to be a really great example of a quick scenic card that you can make. You don't have to spend hours and hours to get a really nice result. I think um, I'm hoping this will prove that you don't need to spend too long. Okay, so now I'm flicking my paper with some cardstock. It's gonna, sorry, with some water. It's going to lift that dry ink up off the cardstock and hopefully give it a bit of a snowy effect. Okay, so I'm just dabbing that off with some paper towel, and you can see the sort of bleached areas. It's a great effect. I'm going to grab my splatter brush or my fan brush from Lavinia just to get a sort of a different size out of those dots. Just dabbing it on, taking it off. I'm concentrating on the top half of the card. A little bit down the bottom too, so it looks like snow has fallen. I love that. I think that's looking really good. All right, I've grabbed out my Zig Real Brush pens and just in a brown, and I'm just colouring that tree. I've also filled in the nose of Magnus that missed when I stamped him. Okay, I'm going to do some random stamping of just some little foliage to fill in that ground. I might speed this up and pop on a bit of music. This is a bit of a tip for you. To have foliage look like it's coming from behind the tree rather than in front of the tree, just mask off that trunk, and then that way it looks like the foliage is growing from behind the tree. Just adds a little bit of more dimension. Okay, so now I want to pop some shadows under the tree and the stag. So I'm just blending a little bit of green just to darken up those areas where the tree and the stag is standing. Just means they're not floating. Just grounds them. I want to take this opportunity to thank all my subscribers. I can't believe I've hit 5,000 already. I had a goal in mind, and that was to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. So um, I've blown that out of the water and surprised myself. But I'm also very grateful. I think it's fantastic that people are enjoying my videos. So thank you for being here. All right, I decided it needed something else. I wanted to incorporate that brown from the tree, and I'm just stamping some mushies just to add a little bit more interest. So the picture is starting to come together really nicely, but I think I want something in that left corner, but I don't want too much. So I'm thinking of using some of Lavinia's charm stamps, and I'll stamp them in my archival white brilliance ink because it's not a lot. It's not too shimmery. It's not too solid, and it just gives it that sort of very light look. Oh, yep. Exactly what I wanted. I think that looks really nice. Perfect. All right, now I want to brighten up my moon. So I've got the shimmery pan pastel, and it's really hard for my camera to pick up, but it's got a real, I don't know, I think it's probably got some very fine mica powder in it. So it's got a very light shimmer. The fantastic thing about pan pastels is they are a little bit translucent. They're not too opaque, so you can still see the color behind it. I think that they're a great medium, but it just brightens that moon up and just adds to the magical feel of the picture. Okay, so I've grabbed my jelly roll pen out and I'm just going around the moon, just just to emphasize the moon. It doesn't give a really sharp line because I have a tendency to wipe over it, so it's not sharp, but it gives a really good definition between the background and your moon. And I'll also probably do the same thing around Magnus, just to brighten that up as well. Or him. Calling it a that sounds a little harsh. To brighten him up. I think it's a really cool stamp. You could probably pop some pine trees in this scene and really turn it into a Christmas card. The thing is about being in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere at Christmas time, it ain't cold. We're in the middle of summer and it's really hot for Christmas, so this scene here is perfect. It's how I'm feeling at the moment. Very cold with my purple hands, as you can see. Um, but yeah, for people that want to do a snowy Christmas card, I think that could work. This could work really nicely. I'm just using Elements ink now to blend the edges, just to bring your eye into the middle, and it also adds, I think, a little bit to the atmosphere. I think it's a neat trick. I've also noticed that when I flicked water, it's lifted some of that VersaFine Clear off Magnus, which is surprising because it's supposed to be water proof, but doesn't matter. Next time I'll either emboss it or mask it off, but I'm just filling in those areas that have lifted. It's not a big deal. I've grabbed out my white Ohuhu acrylic paint pen. It's a fantastic alternative to Posket pens. And I'm just flicking on some white paint just to add to that snowy scene. I think that a little bit of extra snowflakes in different forms will look really nice. So I think that looks really good. I have a video in my channel about the Ohuhu paint markers. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up above for anyone who might be interested. I think that they're amazing. I'm happy with that, looks good. And I've grabbed out my yellow Ohuhu paint marker and I'm just popping on some magic orbs or fairy dust, or maybe they're stars. I'm not sure. No, maybe orbs. I'll pop some in the grass too. Oh, I love this. I had so much fun making it. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I'm going to add to that and I'm going to pop white on as well. Just some thicker dots to go with those splatters. And then I think we're done. I'm going to mat it on a card base and I'll be back to show you the finished product. Here we are, all finished. Off camera, I popped some stickles for a bit of sparkle and I used one of Lavinia Stamps' sentiments. It's a sticker and I just went around it with a pencil and matted it onto a black card panel and then onto the white card, just for some elegant fine borders. I think it looks really nice. All right, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to let me know down below what you think. Hit the like button. If you leave me a comment, it's fantastic. I love reading your comments, but it's also great for my analytics for YouTube, so that they can recommend my videos to more people. I love hearing from you as well. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time. Bye now.